Hi, how are you? Hey. So, today I've been thinking about some things, and honestly, realistically, I kind of want to talk about the real world. And the real world, like, the ecological, economical basis of reality. And I've been seeing a lot of cool, like, opportunities around, and I think they're pretty neat and interesting. So, I want to say about some passions that you possibly may have, or that can invigorate from yourself, from within, for any possible careers or just short-term jobs you can have. Short-term meaning 1 to 3 years, but these are more so for longer-term jobs, career ideas, for people who need cheaper and quicker ways to achieve prosperity emotionally and financially. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, stay with me because I have been working hard in my own personal life and on my social medias. Follow me there to share. Yay! Okay, so we're gonna turn our passions into prosperity. And I'm just going through every other thing every other company is going through because you guys do not have $200 to pay for me to draw you Freaky Nation art, freaky deaky art. But maybe with these job ideas, you might. So let's get on to it. All right, so we're going to start with healthcare. Healthcare is great. Good health insurance, duh, it'll give you good health insurance. Stability, people will always need your help. People will always be sick. And you may want to help people and want more of a stabilized job. And those 12 threes may be hard at first, but it's definitely worth it. So let me bring you up some, job ideas. All of them be 5 each per, section. So first off is to be a nurse. Guess what? You could be a registered nurse in 2 years just by getting your associate's degree. It's a much more easier pathway to become a nurse, especially when everyone's becoming a CNA and an LVN. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just in terms of saturation and then payment. And if you're not going to work in specialized care or haven't had years before that, or getting some type of caregiving aspect, you will not be getting seen that much or be getting paid that well. And it's going to be much more harder for you to essentially reach just your goals of not being homeless and struggling and working 3 jobs. And so essentially being a nurse with your ADN is good because you're still halfway to a 4-year degree if you ever want to pursue more. And it's just 2 years in comparison to being a licensed practitioner or vocational nurse, where that would take like 12 to 14 months. And you just take 2 years, which is 24 months. And I know that doesn't sound cute, but trust me, it's very much worth it. You can get paid just as much as a 4-year degree nurse, so I recommend that. And you can get that degree just with a lot of community colleges, probably with for free, depending on scholarships or any type of subsidies. And in general, it won't really be that expensive. Each year should be between $1,200 to $5,000. It just all depends where you're going and what's the requirements. So next is being a dental assistant. I feel like that's a really good thing, and I feel like there's been a lot of people going to dental hygiene for being a hygienist. And to be a dental assistant is a really good and consistent job. A dentist will always need an assistant, and it's a pretty straightforward, easy job. It takes 2 years, community college as well. It might be some accelerated programs that could take between 12 and 18 months. Essentially, you don't really have to do the deeper cleaning aspects, the more grosser parts of cleaning people, but more so the emotional and the basic technology things of the job. X-rays, writing down some things, and setting up the room for the dentist to come over and the dental hygienist to come over and help the patient. So it's pretty good. Next is a radiologic technician. I think this is pretty good because you're essentially just x-raying people and worrying about people in that aspect and sense. It takes 2 years. A pretty relatively stable job. Will pay you at least $80,000. And I like this better because essentially this will allow people to have more of a more relaxed type of environment. You do have more flexibility on where you will want to go work at, as well as the flexibility on like your hours and how stressful do you want to be. You can work at a hospital or at a school or at like a convalescent facility, anywhere you want. And I really do recommend that. It could be a good non-traditional way of helping people and having a really quiet space, or at most a little to none would be stressful. Next is an EMT technician. An EMT, you know the people who pick you up? The people who pick you up? The people who pick you up? Yes. That would take between 12 and 24 months, depending on your state and where you live. A pretty straightforward job. You will always be needed. Hours may be sporadic, but you'll never be bored. Consistent job, yes. And it's pretty straightforward. You help people, you stabilize them, you drive them. If you're not the one who's driving, you're the one who's riding. And the last, for the healthcare sector is to be a pharmacy technician. More people need pills more than ever. So to help people pop themselves, you can go count themselves and give it to people. 2-year program, or give you a short ass between like 8 weeks to like 18 months. It all depends who you're going to. And it usually is like at least $1,900. But you can be as short as like $800. It all depends who you're going to and what they're providing to you. So I really do recommend that. And you have a pretty steady pay. At least $20 an hour. Next is art and communications. Art and communications, it's a super cool thing, and especially people need help, especially with like Hollywood shutting down a lot of the jobs, and this might be seen in Atlanta, New York, and similar places as well. Even though they're making places like Texas and Kansas a hub, that don't mean shit. We don't know. But I'll tell you one thing for sure, is to be a graphic designer. Being a graphic designer, people will need them more than ever, especially with AI generative anything becoming more expensive and not as accurate as it usually is. And everyone needs a graphic designer. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You can get paid at least $20 an hour, and you don't need a degree, but you can get a certificate, an associate's degree, or a bachelor's degree with being a graphic designer. A pretty neat job, I may say. Next is a data entry specialist. These people are still hot. It's still in. No, you do not need a degree. You just need a high school diploma. And you can get a certification want to stand out a bit more, but pretty self-explanatory. You enter the data. It's kind of similar to where people would essentially enter data for like marking and monitoring appointments and people's like history and their information. You're essentially doing the same thing, but maybe more specialized towards just broad business work or any other sectors of you might go into. But I do recommend insurance. It's pretty neat. Next is an administrative assistant or manager. So to be a manager, you essentially overlook, oversee, and probably just propagate some aspects of what's going on in the interpersonal dynamics and the work dynamics of the system or the job. And the assistant essentially just being a receptionist that like shits papers all day. And you don't need a degree to be a manager if you have some years of experience, but at least have an associate degree would be preferred. And to be an assistant, you don't need a degree at all. And they all do pay pretty decent. It's a pretty steady pay. I'd say you got 7 more years until like robots take over that job, honestly. Next is an art, creative, or logistical director. I know 3 things at once, yeah. But art direction is essentially the whole entire thing of everything. So this is the art direction of how I want things to look. Creative direction would be essentially how I want things to be perceived and communicative. I put logistical direction because it comes into media and communications anyways. And I just say logistics because it's great. It's like basically with shipping and handling things, and with just having the frameworks, just knowing the frameworks of how things are being streamlined and sent to each other. It doesn't have to even be about like physical, like shipping things and delivering it and just physical labor. It could be literally just about like technology and marketing and art and things like that. And you do need a degree, on average, a bachelor's degree, and that's it for all these types of jobs, these 3. And last but not least, for the art communications, is a media coordinator. So essentially, it's similar to like a marketing manager and an art director, but with a bachelor's degree or just some years of experience. You essentially just coordinate all the media and the communicative type of aspects for marketing and for posting on the business social media, or to even propose it to investors. And you just make sure everything looks streamlined and makes sense. Now it's blue collar jobs because some people like them, and who needs to go to college? Well, you can still with these, but you get my point when I say that. Oh my goodness. So number 1 is a trash operator. So underrated. You do not need a degree. You just need a high school diploma, and you just pick up trash and drop it off a day. That's all, at least $60K a year flat. I always wanted to do that, and I still might in the future. I don't know. When I try to get close to them, the people I say hi to them are really sweet people. I start gagging, and I don't know. It stinks so fucking much. But hey, I don't know. I might be okay. I live in downtown LA, so it smells like it every day. Why are y'all trying to move here? Anyways, how about being an HVAC technician? You can work on air conditioning and refrigerators. Pretty straightforward. Some people say it's a boring job. You make a lot of money. And I recommend that because a lot of like apartment, complexes, townhomes, condos, and people who own or rent homes will need help with that. Especially with like, hey, I believe in like the change of the climate. I believe in things to get hotter or colder based on humans' collective choices. Not all of us, but like a lot of us. And okay, look, I don't really care what you say. All right, but one thing for sure, it has been getting hotter over the years. It's been getting like 1 or 2 degrees hotter. So I'm just trying to help y'all niggas out. Like, give y'all niggas some money. Come on. 9 to 5 agency, self-employed. Because whatever you believe, you can't neglect that it's hot, period. Like, shit. Alright. Like, okay. So next is being a car repairman. I recommend that. And then you might need a degree for that if you want to, like, be ahead of the game and learn how to repair like Teslas and like hybrid cars and electric cars. But to start out, no, you don't need that. But for everything being a freaking automatic, you have a touchscreen pads. I do recommend people who has experience in software engineering, programming, engineering to get into this, and vice versa, into cars. Get like a car repair certificate if you already don't know how to do that. Or get like a software engineering certificate if you don't want to get an associate's degree in that. And just do some research online, learn how car parts are working, and learn how Teslas work, especially when they're the most popular car right now. And any like Toyota Prius hybrids, and you learn how that works and how that's taken apart. And they might have some things on YouTube where they can kind of show proof of like how things work, and maybe, or even you just like visit them themselves and just rent out a car and just see if they can check up on it for you. Say, hey, I want to see if they got a tune-up, run over something, and then this car is like tripping out. And they could probably tell you like about the car and learn that way. Anyways, if you don't want to do that, you can go like plumb some shit out of a toilet. No, because people are big and dirty, and then pipes are not going to be replaced that much anymore because people are cheap. And then terrorists with aluminum and steel and metal. So we're going to need more of y'all niggas to plumb shit up. Because I know how to do it, but I forget how people be. No one ain't never freaking me. And no one ain't ever better than me. And they are, but they're very few in between. But I'm saying if you can live through that, hey, put on a hazmat suit, go ahead, get paid easy 80. And you can go get a certificate, internship, job sponsorship, or like you don't need an associate's degree. It might be like 6 months, a certificate. Or you can get an associate's degree if you want to get one. And then clock that T-ho. Real estate construction man. Real estate construction operator. Clock the T, because they're going to get paid more beyond the fact that people are getting deported. I'm saying that because there's going to be more houses being built up in America, and if it's not housing, it's some type of business building, and even if it's not being built, it might be renovated, interior design or whatever, and then you can get sent off overseas to do work too. Because I feel like with construction work on the streets, I feel like there's going to be a bit more gatekept and not paid much. But you can still get a job in that, but I just feel like things will be a bit less like stressful or whatever working in real estate. Okay, anyways, let's speak about food. Ooh. Let's speak about food. You know, you can be a culinary chef with no degree, or you get your certificate, or get a 2-year culinary degree. So you can go do that. I recommend going to higher class culinary restaurants or going to like touristy areas. For that, clock the T. You get consistent pay, health insurance. You don't have to worry about selling fucking hot plates like your fucking Miss fucking Netta and Joe. You try to sell $30 plates, it's not working. You can be a personal trainer. Be a personal trainer can work in food because you can be assistants of helping people how to be healthy. And there's really not much for it. To be a personal trainer, you can go pay like $600 for like a personal trainer certificate license. That lasts up to like 2 or 3 years. You get a CPR certification. That's it. No degrees needed. If you want to do anything deeper, you can be a wellness practitioner, and that requires a certificate, like a 6-month one. And there's an actual one, and that's 6, so that's 21. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Beyond that, you have to be a nutritionist. That's 7 fucking years. Just letting you know that. You need a master's degree for that one, honey. You could be a food safety operator. So people who work in those factories, or you can work outside the factories and just work around like farmers, or work within like just buildings where you're making sure things are being transported safely. And you do need a degree for that. Honestly, you can probably get like a science related degree, and then obviously like a food related degree, health and sciences, healthcare, health something. It's just something that relies on like broad general health, and then obviously some type of like, you know, degree that aligns with nutrition is a good one. And maybe even like a gender studies degree might help too. You might just need to get a certificate, or might just be really entry level. I might have to get a master's. And next is a government farmer. Your niggas would not be getting paid less than $20,000 a year unless you're an immigrant here. Shout out to those farmers. They are, you know, honestly getting neutered without their permission due to these pesticides they have to spray on the foods that we eat. And they're getting paid less than like $20,000 a year, less than $10,000 a year. A lot of them are getting deported or mistreated right now, and they were getting traded like chattel slaves without like the whips and chains, and they are not having any health insurance, and these people are getting taken advantage of and being seen in a, you know, racist manner while having them still at the moment, and I'm not in the mood for that. And then also with the government and US-based companies that are strictly tied to the government, like really closely, that are owning land in Mexico, in places of the Dominican Republic, Cuba, and obviously Puerto Rico. And that's where Mexico is cutting ties, and then Cuba and Dominican Republic be like, oh, bye-bye. And I'm just telling the truth. I just want to like say shout out to like the freaking farmers. I know, boo, I know, whoa, no one gives a fuck. Anyways, everyone's happy now that a lot of these people have been deported, so you can go be a farmer based under the government. You might not need a high school diploma, but you do need one. I'm just joking. I'm just saying that based on like how they bring in workers and stuff. And I wouldn't be surprised they brought in like underage ones too. I'm just telling the truth, because like in Tennessee or something like that, they're trying to like legalize having people under the age of 14 to like work jobs or somewhere parts of the South. I'm just telling you the truth. Anyway, some miscellaneous stuff. Whoa! Enlist in the army, enlist in the army, enlist in the army, enlist in the army, enlist in the army. This was not sponsored, I wish. Enlist in the army, enlist in the army, enlist in the army. You have like free housing, free food. You're gonna have to like, wake up every day, 7 in the morning, 5 days a week. Subsidized housing, free healthcare. They can even pay for your degree. Just telling the truth. A bus or shuttle driver. No one's been talking about that. That's a pretty good job. You can go drive the bus, drive the shuttle, get good healthcare, get paid by your local city government, and that's good. Shuttle meaning like metro, underground, things like that. Or even you can like transport things through like the one of those big ass trains that have to wait, that takes like 5 minutes to pass, be making all them big honking ass sounds. And I feel like it's really cool, neat jobs. A really cute job, honestly. And pays pretty neat. And you can do like logistics with driving, like I kind of just said. Or you can be like a truck driver. What is it, your CDL license or something like that? And you can be driving for 15 hours. Paying lot lizards, probably like $15. And maybe essentially, the $15 might just be on your EBT card. I don't know, I'm assuming you have an EBT card. I apologize. Did I say $15? I mean a lighter, and the $5 in your cash app you gave to her, so you could pay a lot lizard real quick and then drive for 12 more hours and get paid $10,000 a month post-tax. I'm just saying, that's the average experience. And then you can be an administrator, assistant, or a manager in colleges and schools. Just like I said beforehand, I just know for sure that this is actually an easy way to not actually talk and deal with these damn kids while still getting a job within a sector of education. You get some health insurance, and you may not get treated like teachers. You definitely not get treated like teachers, but you may not get paid like teachers. But at least if you do get paid the same $35,000 a year, you won't be dealing with these. Yeah, you won't be like them teachers, okay? And then you don't need a degree for it, and then you might need a degree depending on who's hiring you. And then obviously, last but not least, you can go work at Ulta Beauty as a makeup specialist or a salon stylist. And I'm saying that because honestly, you can do Sephora for makeup and MAC for makeup, and then maybe like Macy's for makeup, or even like Nordstrom. But I'm just saying, for anyone who wants to work in the makeup or artistic sector, and that's all I know for like hairstylists, is Ulta. So yeah, that's honestly all I really have. So I'm looking on my iPad right here, and so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, that's cool. I didn't even count that. So 5 different categories, 5 for 5 each, and I gave you one bonus one. And essentially, I hope you enjoyed this, and I want this to be pretty straightforward and streamlined. And yeah, so I'm gonna talk about more things later, but I just felt like it would have been in bad taste, not like disrespectful, but it's kind of like, it's more logical to speak about what's, I don't know, it's hard for me to articulate it, but I guess I have a certain way I want to go about things. But it makes sense why I'm speaking about this right now, because it'll make sense to intertwine with the things that you speak about before, like what I just spoke about with health and wellness, and with manifestation, people who believe in that. And now with his jobs in the new world, I call this a new birth of America, with the newest election, and then COVID's officially ended in the pandemic. And so I'm saying, like, what's been changing, what jobs are good, because not everyone wants to wait and has the privileges to wait for 4 years and miss 4 years. But about now, realistically, you have 8 weeks to 2 years, and that's what it is at the moment. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then now in the future, I'll speak about something else that's intertwining with that. So I guess I just have a very meticulous way of thinking, but I think all of it makes sense. And I've been taking time for this because I have like over 6 to 8 videos I have made since like last year, like over 6 months ago, I believe. And like this year too, about all of these like things I'm speaking about. And yeah, I'm very particular with it. And some things like to push back to speak about more important things. And then when things like this happen, or I see a lot of stress going on, or algorithmic changes, I will be more on my social media more, changing things on my social media. And I've been like converting everything to purely virtually. And so essentially, I am going to have to worry about, not worry, like it's something to worry about, but essentially I think my things will be a bit different because I was very analog with the way I would do my business and how I wanted my job to be. But based on how like life changed over these past 5 years, everything has to be virtual. But at least I do know things will be much more secure and safer, meaning like I don't want my websites or whatever to collapse and my banks to collapse, because I know like that was more so of a risky probability like before COVID. And so I was 50-50 with like analog and 50 with online, but now I have to be honestly 100% online. And so I've been working on that, and I've been trying to literally like transfer everything I do, because I do work in healthcare. I do all these damn things, and I was holding back on getting a nursing degree, and I held back on getting my fine arts degree to be an art professor and to work in engineering, because you see how Hollywood closed down all of these freaking jobs, and so it's just not worth it. And then you see what they're doing in engineering, it's very rigid, and then I'm like, I don't trust it, because it wasn't all about I want to make this and do this and that. I wanted to work in like government research, and I wanted to do education, educate people, children and adults. And then I was smart with that to go away from art for that reason. And I was smart to hold back on healthcare for how nurses are being treated and how like financial aid is going on, the Department of Education, and how like nurses are being treated financially and are being used and exploited in a way. And what is it to be an RN? And now they're saying like nurse practitioners are more needed than ever, so they're going to be used next, and too many nurses want to become them thinking it's going to be something good. Will be short term, but not truly. And then I'm in physics right now. I'm a physics major, same freaking thing, right? With that, but like, guess what? The second I started my semester in August, Triple 1B wins, and I don't, that isn't here or there with anything. You know, I'll tell you, the country was going to collapse. Kamala was going to slow burn it. Trump was going to just rip it out of there. It doesn't matter. Same thing twice. Because she would have just, like, underfunded the Department of Education or sold some treasuries to give us, like, a couple of checks. You know, Obama gave us gay rights, but Trump popped that safe. So it's like, oh my god, you defunded the Department of Education and like fucking scientist research and then like health research because I'm going to speak about the freaking bird flu. Sorry, I already made a video on it. I just need to edit it. You see how my job's going away? Exactly. But I still have my pathway of being like a doula, midwife, a preschool instructor, because I do take care of children. But why do you think I was trying to be a teacher? Alright? And then being a babysitter, I don't think is really like, you can go be a good one if you find some clients and shit. But I wanted to like take care of multiple kids at a time and help with kids in a healthcare setting. And they help with like parents at the same time. And so, but the problem is, I will have to be self-employed once again. And seldom work on contract work in hospitals and whatever. Which isn't here or there. It's just like everything is unstable, erratic. Tariffs are here. And it's like everything's becoming more and more expensive. So it's just like, okay. So, yeah. So that's what's been going on. I just want to give an update. That's why it's been like, I've been posting like once every freaking 2 weeks. It's so fucking shitty. But that's why it's like, okay, let me just speak about something that at least is very, very valuable. I'm not saying things I don't speak about isn't valuable, but what I'm saying is like, okay, something that I know would really, really help people deeply right now. I can go speak about anything else anytime I want. But with the 2 videos I made, I'm very happy about them because I feel like it can still help you deeper for a little bit longer. And then I post this soon. And then it's like, okay, cool beans. And so, yeah, that's essentially it. And yeah, that's been going on with me. And then I wanted to go into the police force, but then like COVID happened. And then I wanted to go into the army. I'm happy the pandemic happened for the aspects of like, the truth is being shown. What will America turn into and its citizens when everything becomes shaky? Because now everyone in the police force and the army are being used as like terrible pawns. And I want to be a correctional officer, Rick Ross on them. And then like I'm scared now. I don't want to like be on babysit. Like it's not even like that part for prisoners. I know they're gonna be used like RNs over there. And now I'm like tripping. And then it's also like, wait, I know it's like, oh, bitch, want to be everything. But it's like, I want to also just work in like forensic sketching and obviously. But it's like, oh my God, I'm tripping. And it's like, it's not even like, none of this is my fault, we know this. And it's like, I'm tripping because it's like, damn, they're going to start using me like nothing. Like at that point, just use that damn AI, bitch. Because that's what they're doing at this point. They're going to do it so late. So late. You're going to be so late with that. But it's literally just the birth of new America. It's just what was once was plausible for me is not anymore because it doesn't exist. It's not because I am less than. It's not because things are harder. It's not because there's no opportunity for me. The world just does not exist. The opportunity to meet the same type of people, to go outside, to do certain things just are not the same. I cannot just go outside and go to the county fair like I used to. I cannot just have fun at Disney or whatever. I cannot just go to the park or go outside and things was how it was in 2019 and before. And so essentially I was watching how America and its people turn these 4 years, which is why I've been bouncing around between essentially 2 to 2.5 degrees. Because with art and physics, I was going to go into healthcare regardless with that. Because I already am in healthcare. I'm a caregiver, right? And I babysit. I take care of kids. Like, obviously, but I'm freaking broke. Because that does not give money. Unless, obviously, I own it myself. And COVID, duh. And so, essentially, now I have the free time to allow that to prosper. And then I'm making that happen. So I can go babysit again. And do more virtual care. Because that seems to be more of the important matter. Beyond what reason it may be, people just don't have the money and time anymore to come see or do anything analog. And that's what's been my 8 months. And then also, I purposely took a hiatus a little bit to look and see what's going on around me. And then I started to fucking buy a shit ton of things. Not out of like weird panic buying, but it's like I already know what was going to happen. I already know, regardless who was becoming the president, terrorists was going to happen, things were going to occur, all of that stuff. Target was going to start putting things on sale, Walmart, all of that stuff. And I was very correct in that. So I bought a shit ton of books. I'm looking into the side of me about black holes and time warps and DMT entities and shit, because I already know like books, paperbacks, anything paper related, that's going to go up. Bamboo, construction, and everything we get does come from China. That Mexico, issues everywhere. Africa, tariffs, right? You know what I'm saying? So you see what's going on. And so that's just been my chill. And I'll come back. Well, I'm never gone. But meaning, like, I'll speak about it. It just all takes time. Because I'm doing all this stuff and I get tired. There's only so many hours in the damn day. And then, like, housing is nothing but a bitch. And it's like sucking. It sucks. It sucks, bitch. It just sucks. And so I'm trying to tighten up my resume by trying to make it a little bit more like nothing. It's not bad, but it's given, oh, okay, I have a master's degree. Let me go get this PhD real quick because I don't trust nothing. I have a good resume, but I'm trying to go get a license to make it more stronger so I can get a little bit higher pay with my experience, so I can go travel and not deal with this. Because honestly, if I just move 2 hours away from where I am, I'll be okay. And this is not even just about that. It's just like, just rent. What? Car. It's expensive. Uber. No. Food. And it's just like, my most important issue is there's nothing to do. Nowhere to go. And I do not like that. I have been everywhere. I've walked. I'm not joking. I've walked over 10,000 steps for like a week straight. Around my city. Multiple cities. Multiple cities around the whole entire diaspora of the LA County.
Yay!
I went to the beach. I went everywhere. Went to the zoo. Went to the park. Went everywhere. Where else can I go? And people are going through their own personal things, and I understand that. And then for me to have my flexibility, because I work in healthcare, which permeates flexibility, and me being a caregiver and a babysitter, like, my life is pretty cool. Yay! But like, no one has that. Oh my god, like, did you know, like, people ages 18 to 24 are having those 3 jobs, working like 36-year-old situations right now?
We need a hustle in order to pay rent, pay food, and just like survive out here.
I got 2 jobs.
I have 3 jobs. I work as a teacher, I work in retail, and I work in a gallery as well.
So I have two jobs.
Gen Z could be working more than any other generation. That's what the latest ABS data shows might be happening. Thank you. More than 900,000 Australians are working 2, 3 or more jobs, the most since records started. When you look at workers 25 and under, 9% are working 2 or more jobs. In 2017, it was under 6%, so year on year, that number's going up. And a lot of those young people juggling multiple jobs are also casual workers, which has experts worried there could be generation-wide ramifications, with low pay, long hours, and a lack of job security leading to widespread dissatisfaction, stalled job progressions, and just an unhappy workplace.
Now, makes sense why I can't find anybody to hang out, be friends with, and then the people who are in their 30s are going through it, their 40s, which are 50s, like, ooh, auntie, well, auntie. People 65 plus are working more than ever, so everyone's kind of like going through their own things, so it's not necessarily easy for me to even like make friends, Rody. And like, so I'm just chilling like a villain. I'm hoping for the best. I'm like going through it right now, like, and it's just like, and like, I'm a bit bottlenecked because I have enough money, but I am just trying to make a little bit more so I can go travel and then do what every other person did. I always say this, do what every other black person did back in the day. Go to France, go all around the world, travel, make money, and every other freaking indigenous traveler I am connected to. Every nomadic person. Yes, that's what everyone done. And I'm trying to do that out of pure love. And it's like, you know, let me go to the Dominican Republic. Let me go to the Philippines. Let me go somewhere, like, visit. And I just am trying to make that little bit. And I am opening my tarot readings and stuff like that. So I'm opening back up my stuff again, especially when I'm taking a break from college, because I cannot afford to pay it out of my own pocket anymore. And I don't agree with it. Like, I'm sorry. The only way I'm going to get free college is if I enlist myself in the army, which I'm not against. Right now, I just want a break. Or if I go into the police force, which I still want to do. I'm not against. But all of that will happen naturally because I still want to work in that sector. So that will only happen if the opportunity comes to me. Because I've tried. Well, not the army, child. Now, I want to go to the police academy first, bitch. Like, that army shit, bitch. Yeah, like, fucking 6 years ago. But how I know how politics are right now? No. y'all finna, no, y'all one of them. Like, y'all ain't finna be overusing me.
Oh, you one of them.
But that's kind of the thing. If things like calm down, like, sure, I don't give a fuck. But that's like the problem. It's like, there's no problem, but that's just what life is all about. So it's like, yeah, I might get my degree, but someone's gonna have to pay for it because I'm not fucking doing it. So if it isn't like the government, it's gonna be some company. So yeah, that's all about me. And that's a whole little video in itself I just made. And yeah, I can speak more about this later, but really not much about it. I just told you everything. I told you everything. I can't be no damn teacher because what's going on. I can't be no researcher because what's going on. No, I cannot do art because I do not agree with what's being given to me, because I want to work in storyboard art, character design, concept design, video game design, and in the government, marketing and communications. That's not what it is anymore. Science, healthcare, in the food aspect, and some healthcare parts are getting defunded. Education's getting defunded. That's what's just my little life. And then it's like how they treating nurses and doctors and everything. And so it's pretty self-explanatory. So essentially, my life isn't what it used to be because it doesn't exist anymore. So essentially, I have created my same passions into my new reality of New America. Because like I said, what was once was isn't anymore. We simply can't even breathe the same, let alone go to the same places or get the same type of jobs. So that is the same with me. And so that's why I'm like, okay, I just have to do virtual services and get sponsored for pop-up or in-person services. Because even if I can afford it, even if it'll be great, people won't just have the time to come to me and go do it. And more people than ever are asking for virtual services from doctors and in emergency situations rather than going there. So it's like, you know, one day I guess I'll own my own hospital. But in general, why would I even need a medical facility if, you know, a bunch of people are simply just FaceTiming doctors 24/7? You know? Like, why would I even work under an agency or with a doctor if they're going to just call me on the phone? What's the difference? And what's the difference of me marketing myself to them? And like, you know, and plus it'd be easier for me because if I'm charging $50 an hour, much more easy. And then there you go, you pay me $50 for the same help you would be paying $300 for, and that's just my life. So yeah, I hope you watch. If you did watch this, it's pretty fucking cool to this damn end. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, me sharing my bit of myself. Like, comment, and subscribe. And like, yeah, I guess if you do need any type of like medication assistance, if you do need any type of like general health assistance, general questioning, because I can't do much but refer you to a specialist, and then do help with medication assistance, like general health assistance and things like that. But I can only do so much, as who I am is who I am. So peace out, bye, and see you next time.